Hi guys, today I want to share with you a couple of cards I've made using the Rose Garden Thinlit Die from Stampin Up. In the Thinlit set there's quite a few little images that you can use. There's a small rose, there's a large rose which has got some leaves, and there's an extra leaf and another little flower. Now you might have already noticed that I've used the dies in a bit of a different way to just taking them out and cutting them. I've got some inlay panels here where I've rearranged the way in which the inlay is actually formed. These leaves, are actually from the large die, rose die image. But I thought they were really pretty and wanted them attached to an inlay that I made. So this is all one level, it's all nice and flat. I want to show you how I make these. And here's another example. This is the large rose that comes in the set, and you'll notice that the leaves again look a little bit different. There's this is just a white inlay that's stuck to a piece of black cardstock. So this black you can see in here is the black card base that sits behind it. So just to show you for comparison, this is what the large rose would cut out like if you just cut it out from the Thinlit as it is. So it comes as a beautiful Thinlit like that. When you cut it out, you get this gorgeous rose with some leaves on one side and one single leaf on the other side. Now if I lay it over the top, you'll see for comparison that whilst the leaf on this end matches up, I actually couldn't fit the entire leaf arrangement here on the card front the way I wanted it with an inlay. So I want to show you how I use the Big Shot to cut this out in a way that moves these little leaves down here. So I'll put those two samples aside and I'll show you what I'm going to work on. So I'm just going to get another card in, and what I've got here is a piece of watercolour paper, and it's cut just to be a matting on the front of this standard card base here. Basically what I want to be able to do is put this straight on the front of this card. I want to have the rose on here, a bit of ribbon and a greeting at the bottom, but you can see the rose is not going to fit on with those extra big leaves like that. So what I'm going to do is use the Big Shot to make it fit so that I've got a little inlay piece on the front, and I'll show you how to do that. So what I'm going to do is get my magnetic platform here with an acrylic cutting plate on the top of it. I'm going to position my cardstock, so in this instance it's the watercolour paper. I want to position it so that I've got this little leaf making it onto the mat nicely, and then this top leaf I'm not too concerned about. So I just want to position my rose until I'm happy with how that sort of looks. So I use the cutout just to position it, and then I know when I put my die on that I want it to look like that. So what I want to do is put the acrylic plate on the top, and what I want to do is place it on so that it sort of just touches the top of edge of that rose. Now when you feed it into your Big Shot, you want to feed it in with the end that's got the acrylic top layer overhang, so that it feeds through the Big Shot, and you're just going to run it all the way through. So let me go and do that for you. Okay, so now that I've run it through the Big Shot, you'll notice when I take the die off that I've got my rose cut out nicely. The top of the edge here all sort of cut out. But what I want to do first is, because I want to retain some of these insert pieces to do some watercolouring, which I'll show you in a minute. So I'm just going to pop all that out of the frame and keep that to the side. Now what you might see is that the top edge mightn't be all the way cut through, and that's okay. I'm just going to grab my scissors and make a bit of a cut. I don't need that outside rim to the watercolour piece. So I'm just gonna cut that out. Oh. So that just all pops out. I'm going to put that to the side. So this is what I've currently got for my outline piece. I'm going to put it back on, and you'll see there's a bit of a mark on the cardstock where the impression was. I'm just going to reposition my leaf. The little leaf here is the one I want to use this time, and I'm just going to position it so it's on the die like that, not too close to that top edge, and I like it like that. So what I'm going to do is put it back through the Big Shot. This time though, I'm going to put I'm going to move it down just a wee little bit so I've got enough room on here to do what I want to do. So I'm going to move this back down like this to about halfway on my Big Shot plate. I'm going to again feed it through, but just so again the plate rests on the edge of this leaf. I just want to cut, I don't want to cut any extra of this die that's overlaying my good piece. I just want to cut that little bit of leaf out there. So I'm just going to thread it back in again with the big acrylic overhang as the lead edge. Okay, so when you pull it out of the die, out of the Big Shot the second time, you can lift that up and you'll see you've just got a small fraction of a leaf there. So let me just remove this yucky platform out of the way. And you'll see then this last little leaf here, because I didn't push it back all the way, I err on the side of caution when I run it through the Big Shot. I'm just going to use the scissors to snip ever so slightly that last little bit of leaf outline, like that, from my mat, so that I've got my flower that looks like, well, my outline image that looks like that now. So what you'll see is when you've got your, I'm going to use the Tip Top Taupe as the inlay piece that I want there. When you put that back in, you'll see that you've got a great fit for all of this piece here. The bit that's not needed is these leaves here, so you can actually just use your paper snips to shape this edge of your flower. Just think of it as a little border like the rest of it. Oh, it's a bit square there, so I'm just going to come back and give that a nice little rounded edge. Okay, I'm happy with that. So this piece will now fit in nicely in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over to the reverse side. I'm going to lay my inlay in there, and then I just use some double-sided tape to hold my inlay in place. So here I have an extra little leaf. I'm just going to again flip it over to the back. I'm going to tape it in place, and then once I finish taping it in place, I'm going to go around and snip where the two areas overlay, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. Okay, so you'll see there's a bit of leaf there that overhangs that other leaf there. What I just do is take my snips, and I'm going to come through really carefully and just snip. See if I can come in a bit closer for you. I'm just going to snip right where the two pieces touch, so that you can get a really nice connection between the two pieces. Just going to turn it this way a little bit, take the snips. So, all going well. Let me just turn this over, all the way through. So there you have just a little bit of an extra leaf popping out the top there. Throw that bit away. Let me just go back out so you can see. So that's my lovely design there. So what I'm going to do quickly is I'm just going to dress this up and show you what I'm going to do next. Okay, so now it's all dressed up. I've just added a bit of ribbon and a happy birthday at the bottom. When I made this card, I just stuck that straight onto, once I'd had the inlay done and I had the tape on the back, I just stuck it straight onto a card base. Now you could easily do that with this guy here. It looks gorgeous just as it is, so you could do that. With this option, once I'd stuck the inlay pieces in, I actually turned it over and I cut out pink cardstock on the back of the rose and some green for the leaf, and then stuck it to the card front, so you can do that. This one I'm going to try something different again. I'm going to stick it to my card front, and then as it was watercolor paper that I cut out from here, I'm going to watercolor and add the pieces back in like a jigsaw. I won't show you me doing that on camera, but I'll show you the finished product when I've done that. Okay. So as promised, guys, this is the finished card. The watercolor pieces that I'd cut out from creating the inlay, I've gone and colored them and placed them back into the piece. So it's really just one single layered card. You can see nothing sits up from the front. It's just a really flat one-dimensional sort of card with just sort of one layer of matting on it. So there's some tips, some different ways to use the gorgeous Rose Garden Thinlit dies. It is really fun to play with. There's lots of options. You don't have to stick with the configuration of the leaves on here. You certainly can mix and match them up. So hope you enjoy that one, guys. Bye.